Well, finally, we are here in a different format. Today, we have more people online, and we will talk about trust body language, not words. So, we have Mihaela Stroe, and we have a lot of people at the same time. Oh, Jesus. Um, I closed everything, and a message appeared in my screen. No, but it's a small one. Okay. So, um, Mihaela, let's talk about body language. Why we should trust body language and not words.
The reason, Felipe, why we trust body language is not words is very simple, because if we take the history of mankind, there are many more years that people use body language than we are using words and communication through words. So because body language is first in our evolution, it's the first to be trusted. Another argument that I want to bring into your attention and to all participants today is that our body reactions are very much connected with our limbic brain, which is the center of our emotions. So whenever we have an emotion in our mind, in our brain, we will express it in a few seconds away distance in our body, because this is a normal way of behavior of any person. So I gave at least two arguments why we should trust body language first and not words.
Maybe it would be interesting to have some questions from the beginning. What do you think, Mihaela?
I'm open. So let's pick the first question for today. And I want to ask you very kindly to respect our relation, so we speak one at a time. So the first person who wants
you can raise the hand like this, and
yes,
we can see.
raise the hand, and if I can address your name, you can put the question. So I see now in my screen here two persons, Mircea first, and then another person, I believe Ionuț, that is here. So Mircea, please, if you have
the only
prepared...
thing they have to activate the microphone, because
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, activate your microphone.
Cool. So I know about a famous film which was made. It was actually a series. I think it was called Lie to Me. So it was one of my favorite movies, and I was wondering in which domain we could apply this body language. I'm curious if in a multinational company this can be applied. If sitting in a table in a short meeting with people, will that help me in a way, yes or no? Or how would I interact with the persons there? How can I tell if someone is telling the truth or is scared or something like that?
Yes, thank you, Mircea, for your question. For sure, learning how to decode body language is very useful in a multinational, in any company. Does not matter if it's national or if it's international. Why? Because you can use it from meetings, meetings when you meet with colleagues, and also in meetings when you have a project meeting, when you meet with your superior. Also, it can be used when you are making presentations. You present a project, you want to ask a salary raise from your boss, you want to negotiate contract with a business partner, or you want to sell your services or your products. In any context, either if it's business or it's personal interaction, when you meet people, you need to know how you can decode body language. So I believe that knowing the secret can give you enormous enormous advantage in these meetings, any type of meetings. Did I answer to your question, Mircea?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, it's
also,
okay.
in negotiation, in sales, in mediation, if you are a lawyer, if you are a doctor, if you are a teacher, if you are a parent, if you are a marketer, If you are in a business with customer service, public relations, diplomacy, criminal investigation, police work, yes, espionage, etc. Or even if you are a poker player, you can use body language.
Yeah, that's true.
And Felipe, let's move on with our discussion. And please, from your point of view, because you are international speaker and author, and you travel on all the continents, meeting with so many cultures. Please let us know your experience, what you have learned from me when we met in such different and multiple situations, if they really helped you be a better communicator with different cultures.
Well, one of the things that I have microphone. One of the things that is funny is that I learned that nonverbal communication is common in any language. So you might be talking about with I don't know, Russians, and you don't understand anything about Russian. I don't, and you really can understand. I give you an example. It's one in one of my books. I was doing a preparation for an academy, and I was talking with the organizers, and I had a translator, so they were translating from Russian to English and vice versa. And I was explaining what I wanted, and I was making questions how to do stuff and things like this. And if I would relate only to the nonverbal, to the verbal communication, that is what the translator was saying to me, everything was okay, no problem. There is no problem. Everything is okay. But I was looking at the same time to the nonverbal communication of the people I was talking to. And the funny thing is that they were like afraid. And I was like, why they have fear? Why they have fear? And then I start thinking, and I said, well, I will stop the meeting for a moment. Went to think about why they were afraid. And then I thought about a bit of the Russian culture. They like really, really strict leadership, people that really say, okay, let's do like this. And even if they don't know, the leader doesn't know what he's doing, but he has to say, let's do like this. And we have this, and there is no other possibility. And so they really, really like authority. And that was the thing. So I returned to the meeting, and I continued the meeting in a much more authoritative way. And guess what? It worked much better. People were not afraid anymore. So that was one of my learnings from you.
Thank you. It's true. When you go in a culture, the first idea to have in your mind before even leaving your own country and going into the plane is to make some research about how people behave in that place, about their history, because all the history of a culture has a print on the body language. And you mentioned the Russians. This is a very interesting culture because East European countries, the Southern Eastern European countries, they have a specific period in their life, in the life of the people, when it was very authoritative. So there is a different way of behavior in that culture. This is the reason. I hear myself strange. I don't know what happened. This is the reason why I have developed, after my experience over 12 years with people from different cultures and different occupations, a very simple method to decode body language. Does not matter in what culture. And I call it the ABC method of reading body language. Why ABC? Because now on the market, starting with the 70s, are a lot of books, a lot of authors that they write and they tell you different ideas about how to read body language, and many of them contradict themselves. So I took time in my studies to develop a very simple way that you don't need to read thousands of books. You just need to focus on two abilities. The first ability is to observe people, and the second ability is to pay attention to the body signals. So what means A from the ABC method? It means that you become aware. To become aware, first of all, of your body language. Because I notice that if you don't know how you behave, you cannot, or it's very difficult to detect other signals in other people. So everything starts with awareness of yourself, then with awareness of other people. I will present shortly because it's very short, the method. Second idea is the B from body. You become aware of yourself, about your emotions, your thoughts, yes, and then you become aware of your body, because we have in our body 135 body signals, which means 80 are at our face, at head level, and 55 at the rest of our body. Maybe this is one of the reasons why when we do a hangout, where we have a Skype meeting, we see mostly face and head. And the third element in the method, which is C, is regarding congruency. Congruency regarding the body language and the verbal, the words. And that's why we call this hangout Trust Body Language, because we need to focus more on the congruency of body and then to match the body with the congruency at verbal level. So this is shortly the method. This is the first time when I present it live like this with an audience. I presented the passage of a summary of it on my course that I had in Bucharest with 30 people audience in March, and now it's live, and from this moment on I will start speaking more about this method. So I'm now curious to hear from you, Filipe, first, and then from our audience the first reaction, how you perceive this ABC method of reading body language.
Well, at first it seems like a very simple method, but I think that one of the things that you have to gain is practice. Observation is very important, because this is not, it was Mircea that said about the lie to me, and one of the things that happens in the lie to me is that it's a wonderful series, goes great, but there is one part that is fiction, that is one guy that sees all the movements and everything at the same time.
Yeah.
The thing is that there is a lot of practice there. You have to practice, and even though you have to look at the video, because video is very important for if you really want to get information about all the body language, all the micro expressions, you have to see the video. Why? Because our brain focuses in certain areas, not in everything at the same time. We don't have that ability. But our subconscious mind has that ability. So that's why, for instance, we have feelings about certain people, feelings about certain situation. Basically, it's the way of our subconscious mind to say to the brain, look, I don't like this situation. I cannot explain you uh, in a report, but I can give you a feeling. Isn't that correct, Mihaela?
Yes, it's correct. And I encourage people to perceive life as a movie, not as a photograph. Because when you are reading a book, for example, on body language, you see in the book pictures, and you see in one picture a feeling, an intention, a thought, a posture, something like that. But life is a movie. It's a flowing flowing of actions. So you are correct. You need to practice. Practice, I believe, is the most important, and you practice when you meet other people. That's why I encourage face-to-face communication. But in order to practice, you need two ingredients before. First ingredient is to know basic information about body language, to know what to look at, and second is to increase your level of confidence in reading body language, because if you don't trust your feelings, if you are not aware about yourself, it's very difficult to be aware about other people. So to increase the level of confidence starts to increase your level of confidence in yourself. And it's true what you said. I encourage and I intend to develop this method in such a way that we can bring from our subconscious level into our our observing way, because our conscious mind is very limited, and it's true.
Yeah,
It's very, very limited.
because we only can analyze at the same time like 10 or 15 information, while our subconscious mind can process millions of informations at the same time. But the problem is that we have like a funnel, and
Yes, yes.
and we have a lot of information, but then we have to be processed. Some of them are processed like a report, lookout, things like this, and others are like feelings.
How we can integrate this, Filipe, this is the challenge. How we integrate the report that our conscious mind is giving us and the feelings and the thoughts that the subconscious mind is giving. And I believe, and I'm very aware that by the end of this century, something will change in better. In better, that will make our communication better, because the technology, as we can see right now, and the Google Glass that they are developing and other tools that are going much deeper, and the challenge is how we integrate the technology in our life, everyday life. This will be the challenge, and I believe we will find a way by the end of the century how to become better connectors, better communicators, using both conscious and subconscious level. Because you see, you are in Portugal. I am in Sibiu in Romania, and we are in connection together. And I believe that even if we are taking a person from Japan or from the States right now with us, we will create a synergy, right?
Yes.
You experienced
Yes, because we know when each other are going to talk or something like that. So it's interesting because we have that experience. Mihaela, we are almost reaching 20 minutes. Maybe another question and finishing?
Yes, let's take another question from a different person. And let's see who is opening now the microphone. Thank you, Mircea, for your first question. Now, let's take a second question, short question, if it's possible to take a third one, to give another possibility. Who wants to put the question to be a part of our synergy today?
One at a time.
One at a time. Let's see who has the courage.
Oh, you talk about courage and now people get so shy. Ah, we have one.
We have one, right. Please.
Yes. Hello, I'm Alexis. I just want to ask you, you say you have to observe people, but how do you know if your observation was correctly made?
Yes, this is a very good question, Alexis. Thank you for asking. How do you know that the observation is okay? It starts with you to start to observe your behaviors. And that, because all human brains are behaving the same. So when you become aware of yourself, doing observation on your body signals, body reactions, you will be able to notice when there are similarities in other people's behavior. And I have good question. I have good news. When we are born, we know how to observe reality. We are perfect in observation because observation is a survival skill. So what you have to do now in the 21st century is to become a child again, to behave like you are 3 years old and everything is new to you, all the environment is new, and how you adapt to a new situation. And you have the decoder inside yourself. And that's why from 2013, I changed my, my way of talking, my way of observing and encouraging people to go back to basics, which is go back to inside you. And it's a challenge, and I take the challenge.
So we are searching our inner child. So gugu
Yes.
dada to you too.
Yes, because the answer lies there, because then you survived until this age. You have the answers inside you. What happened in the meantime is that society pushed you a little bit away from that inner child. So this is the challenge for this year. And I want to take the third question, and I prefer to be a woman because women have something special.
Oh, we did a video about that, seduction.
We did a video, yes. We have something more in our brain circuits that is called female intuition. And male, they have it too, but always it's good to have a smart woman next to you to give you advantage. So let's see if I have a question from, I can see here that is Andrea, that is here, Cornelia and Madalena and Alina. So please, who wants to shoot the question, the third question, and then we will close this special hangout today.
Men are willing to kneel.
If you cannot find the microphone, maybe you can chat. If not, I have a question.
You are a woman.
I am a woman, and I'm very curious. And my question for you guys, because are more in number right now, is how you show confidence when you meet with another person.
Good question. I will leave to my colleagues.
Who has courage right now to give us some, I need examples.
Okay, can I go for this one?
Yes, Mircea, please go.
Okay.
An example from your experience.
Okay, sit straight, smile, look at the other person in his eyes or maybe above somewhere in his forehead, and talk positive things. I don't know. And give I don't know if it's how this interaction goes between with the other person. I mean, is this a new person that you meet or with already known person? Because I think if you meet a new person, it also involves the way you shake the hand with him and so on. But I believe in these things. Sit straight, or not very straight, but straight, relaxed. I don't know how, and smile. That's very important. A warm smile, maybe, and yeah, decent handshake.
Yes. If you meet the person for the first time or you know the person, it's a very good distinction, and I really appreciate the suggestions that you said. It's true. They are very important, and you always perceive that even though they don't talk. There is another person who wants to share his experience regarding expressing confidence. Thank you, Mircea. Felipe, I know that Portuguese culture is famous conquering a lot of land, let's say, in the past. What made Portuguese persons, the conquistadores, so strong and so confident to go and make so many domains their own? You need to have something inside you, right?
It's in your DNA.
What you have in your DNA. And you know, my husband is always appearing with very strange gestures.
Well, let me put it in a yes, we were never a very powerful nation in terms of money and armies. So one of the things that we had to use was ourselves, and it's a known fact that while other colonial powers send a whole set of family, the Portuguese only send the men, because we had no money or army to protect whole families in places so far away like Africa or South America or the Pacific or things like this. So they had to interact with the population, these guys, and they interact a lot. So
yes, using their personal charm, and I may suggest.
And think about this. The Portuguese talked at the most Portuguese and a bit of Latin because of religious circumstances. But when they arrived, for instance, to Japan, the Japanese saw the Portuguese, and they were the first Westerns. It's very funny how they picture the Portuguese, because if you look at, they were the ETs or the aliens of the 16th century. So they are pictured with big bears and things like this, and it's very funny because they look very strange, and that so only non-verbal communication was possible because Portuguese didn't know Japanese and the Japanese didn't know Portuguese. So I guess my ancestors were very good at nonverbal because they really interact with all the natives, and
they communicated.
With all the natives.
Please tell me 3 signals that you believe that they sent to the Japanese in order to show that they are communicative people. 3 things.
3 things. Well, it's very hard because I was not at that time, but I think that first it had to be something with respect, because you have to respect the other. If you enter like imposing yourself, no, but we try
Showing.
to showing respect, to understand the other, because we were a very tiny minority, because the first Portuguese that arrived there are like 2 or 3 boats, and that's it. And there is the rest of Japan. And 2 years after, there was a major alliance with Japan. Actually, if you talk with Japanese people, they would say that Portuguese were responsible for the unifying of Japan, because when Japan arrived there, Japan was divided among warlords. So they had
This is very interesting idea to
so they had to show first respect. Then they should had to have some very effective nonverbal in terms of trading, because they were there for trading. So they would be like talking very with open hands, for instance, to the people and say, okay, we give to you, things like this. So
yeah.
it's very important. And at the same time, the posture, because if it's like this, maybe it was more like this, giving the possibility, because they were vulnerable anyway, because they were like 2 or 3 boats against the whole Japan. So probably they, okay, so I will not be like, yeah, I'm the warrior, and then thousands of Japanese would be like, I will kill you. So it had to be like, okay, I'm here.
And the third element that
It was like that. It's to show vulnerability, to okay, to be conscious about your vulnerability.
you know what has these 3 things that you said now in common? It's attitude. Yeah, they have in common attitude, respect, showing that you are vulnerable, trading gestures. Yes, they are all actions that express attitude. Yeah. So one idea that we let make a conclusion from our special hangout today is when you are expressing yourself, especially using your body language, first be aware of your attitude, because speaks thousands of words more than you really say with your language. Okay. So become aware of your attitude, because attitude is, you can feel it. Does not matter if you are, I don't know, 16th century or 21st century. We have that brain circuits that has the radar inside our head to be receiver of attitude. Okay? To wrap up our conversation for today.
Okay, Mihaela, let's close down, because we are already on 32 minutes.
Yes. I believe we can talk for this 100 years and we don't finish. Thank you so much for this very interesting encounter like this. And hopefully somebody, you record it so we can have the proof that we had today.
I hope it's okay, the recording.
I hope to, because every discussion for me is very precious. Has information that we can use to share with everybody else then.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you too, guys.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
In the
Ciao.
internet space. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Ciao.